Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kendall from Boise Music Live. I am super excited to talk with my new friends. And I have a lot of new friends I've been meeting this last couple of weeks, and the channel is growing, and we're super grateful for all of the following that has happened on the Instagram side. But I would love some love over on YouTube. I'd love some love over on Facebook, but I know that we'll get there. But thank you for the engagement so far, because it's led to some really good productive discussions. But speaking of discussions, I can't wait to discuss everything and all things that we've had a great pre-interview going into this chat with my friends Thrown Out Bones from San Francisco. What's up, guys?
Hey, stoked to be here.
Yeah, we have Nick and Liliana in two different places, so it's like one of those split screen news station things. So I can't wait to see how this comes out. And but you know, Nick is over there preparing for the show with XLR cables and a bunch of cables. Liliana is having a holiday and a lovely day. I think you guys need a trade. I
Being
feel
a
really
diva.
bad.
I don't know. I'm a lead singer. This
Yeah,
is my
I'm
job.
totally away in this basement.
Yeah, you stay where you belong.
Yeah, you take care of business before we go on the road. You can't see daylight until after Boise.
Can I please have some water?
Oh,
Yeah. No, but anyway, so we're super excited to have you guys come to Boise. You'll see the vibe of the town. It's a great time. But you guys have been touring as the unit known as Thrown Out Bones since 2015. But you told me before we chatted that you and Nick have had a musical relationship for like over 20 years.
yeah, since we were wee babes in middle school, and we wrote
Wow.
our first song ever. It was both of our first times writing a song. We went over to Nick's house, and Nick had an acoustic guitar, and I guess there were a bunch of ketchup items on the wall because Nick's sister was obsessed with it, and I had a crush on someone who was into ketchup, and so we wrote the ketchup song, which I do still remember an absurd amount.
That's
Could absolutely still play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you guys, with all that history and everything like that, you guys probably can finish each other's sentences by verbally, but also musically. So I'm really excited to hear the culmination of these decades of work that you guys have put into the craft. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's cool to write songs not about food anymore. Not that I'm like against our PB&J song or ketchup song, but it's like, whoa, there's more things that inspire me now besides delicious things.
You've evolved. That's
No offense, peanut butter.
well,
Exactly.
no slight to peanut butter, but I'm sure all of the context of your songs are pretty cool. So, the stage experience is what I'm most excited about. So when I talked with you guys a way back about putting this show together, I was looking at the YouTube videos and I was like, whoa, they do everything. And technically you guys can play in different configurations, but your road band is a 3-piece, correct?
Well, actually, for this tour, we're super excited. We're gonna have a 4-piece. Woo!
Upgrade, heck yeah.
Ah!
So and then Liliana, you are the lead vocalist and the drummer who kicks ass behind the kit, and that is something that is amazing because there's not a lot of vocalists behind the kit. I tried. I don't know if you can see, there's the drum set behind me, and I think that people let me kind of do some low drone notes and maybe some hits on the backup stuff, but singing lead and playing the kit, that's got to be something.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that when we were in a band in high school, when we decided that the music needed to get to the people, there wasn't enough ketchup in the world. Nick has, like, as a youth, definitely was a better singer than me. But I was writing the lyrics. And so they were basically like, why don't you sing? And so I would just sing a bunch. And I think it's one of those things that it like kind of clicks after a certain point, and then you can do it, but it's always impressive to people. So when people come up and they're like, wow, that must be so hard. I'm like, yeah, for sure. It's pretty freaking hard all the time.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, in all of these years, it's just like an easy thing to do. With the band and the vibe, how much of your shows are planned versus spontaneously performed? Because this show is an experience, right?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that really stands out to me around live music is that often as an audience member, I'll go in and there's a structure that exists. I am the audience. I stand in a distinct place. I look at a distinct place and I'm impressed in a distinct direction. And for me, being on stage, I'm like, whoa, so much of what I'm doing is inspired by each specific venue, audience member, the places we are. And so I really like my goal in doing a show is that the audience feels as important to the creation of the show as the musicians, because I'm a freaking stage succubus. I'm just like, give me energy. And so there's definitely been times when the show is like over and I'm like, can I crowd surf now? And like the band is like, oh, and the audience is like, and then I'm on top of all of them, and then it's a thrill, and everybody loves it, baby.
Well, I don't think you chose the right word. I don't think it's so much a succubus type energy. It's almost like you're recycling the energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely times where things have happened and people have come up and commented on them, and I've been like, whoa, I don't remember doing that. It's like a conduit. I just like can black out. And sometimes we'll do improvised songs about people in the audience based on information they give us. And so those can really take some interesting turns. And there's like a lot of jamming that can happen too. And so it is really, really, it's people come up and are like, wow, it's a different show every time we see you.
That's so amazing. So Nick, how's the cabling going over there? Oh, he got frozen there. Oh,
it's because he left the garage. He's not supposed to leave the garage. You get back in there.
I'm not allowed. No, the cabling's great. I'm gonna throw it in my car and I'm gonna head over to where Lil is actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Good boy.
Yeah.
But well, here's a question for you, Nick. On the road, you guys have probably seen some stuff, heard some stuff, experienced some stuff. What is something or a couple of stories that stand out to you of life on the road?
Oh boy. Yeah, totally. We've definitely seen some stuff on the road. There's been some fun ones. Recently we were just talking about a time when we got Lil to eat some like very spicy chips that we just found somewhere in order to for social media promo.
Which I will say, I recently learned that I thought they had bought them from the gas station, but turns out they had found them on the ground, which I did not know. And for those who don't know, I'm really bad with spicy food. And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat this ghost pepper chip. And then someone was like, for social media? And I was like, social media freaking thing. Fine, I'll do it.
What a team player.
But if I'd known it was found on the street, I probably would have been less of a team player, but who knows? For social media.
Yeah.
The things we do.
It's all about the stunts.
Was a time, I think it was when we were in San Diego, where we like came across this dude who had this like RV that had all this psychedelic stuff in it and like UV things everywhere. There's some really fun pictures from then. We just like hung out with him for a while.
Well, we had been building a shelf in one of our many vans. That's a whole other story. And we were at a Home Depot, and me and the bassist at the time were walking, and we were like, what is that neon structure? Or like, what's going on in that neon RV? And I walked up and was like, what's going on? And he was like, oh my God, you want to come in? I'm Martian or something. And basically he's this musical artist who like UVs everything. And so we went in to his like stranger's RV and just like we're playing in his black light. And then he set up this random jam and we were just like jamming on little electric instruments by the beach. And Mars, that's what it is. Mars spelled with like a 5.
Right. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to get a Sprinter van and start doing shows out of that. Have you guys ever heard of the Jam in the Van series?
We have one. We played it.
Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that's one of my favorite channels. And I love that spontaneity and how people are coming up with those little creative ways, because everything can be a stage if you think of it.
100%. And there's definitely stages we've played that are like, this should not be a stage.
But it is tonight, this moment.
Tonight. Yeah, we might fall through it, but that'll make another exciting show moment.
Yeah, well, OSHA doesn't have dominance, or I should say oversight on all stages. So if there's a stage or there's a gathering of people and there's a surface, we're good.
Get on it. Yeah. Make some sound.
So in terms of the particular pieces of your show, I hear a lot of influences, too many to count. So who are your heroes, musical heroes, genre pieces and parts that came into put this funnel that built the Thrown Out Bone sound?
Nick, do you want to go first since it looks like you're about to drive over here? And no, you are not interviewing and driving, you
Nope,
crazy
I'm
coconut.
not. I'm not. I am a crazy coconut though. Yeah, I mean, my big ones are folks like Jack White. I love his kind of ethos around limitation, breeding creativity. I have big love for a lot of players in that sort of space. Lately I've been really into a lot of like hip hop and rap, so that's been an interesting thing to kind of like try to channel in my own playing. I'm kind of blanking otherwise, but
I feel like John Mayer has been a pretty influential guitarist in your.
Yeah, he's definitely a guitar hero of mine, even if he seems like kind of an iffy guy.
And they're just like a bunch of like pop punk, like emo.
Absolutely. Emo forever.
In terms of emo ain't never die. In terms of stuff that I'm really into, I think there's like 4 key inspiring in different ways people, like musicians and musical groups in my life. And I think that one of the youngest ones, besides the Teddy Bear Band, I'm from Minnesota, love you Teddy Bear Band, one of my first concerts besides Juanes, is they're called the Hush Sound. And I just remember loving them because they have like such interesting lyrics that are about other things that I was used to lyrics being about. So it wasn't just like love and heartbreak. It was about like running away and joining the circus. And if it was about love, the lyrics were about falling in love with someone in your dreams and then just like sleeping to be with them, and a lot of like metaphors. And so I really locked onto that. And you can hear a lot of like the way that I write lyrics inspired by them. And then I think next is Freddie Mercury and like Queen. I mean, I just think like what an amazing performer, and just you can feel the like that conduit, how it's a lot more than just this one human. It's like years and years and years of music and energy and power moving through this body, and just like everybody feels bigger with this one person at the mouthpiece of whatever ethereal thing is going on. And that's something I really connect with, and like really, I just like feel in a really big way. And then there's the 2 like kind of newer but have been in my sphere for a while are this band called The Deer Hunter, which is DEAR Hunter, and Lunch Brothers. And they're both identify more as like orchestral folk or orchestral rock. And they just like really fuck with structures of songs. And so it's not just like A, B, A, B, C, B. It's like following, A, B, G, A, F, 3, high 5. And it's just really amazing. And they have like really interesting concept albums that like tell the stories of characters or colors. And I think that's something that just like really, it just felt like it mirrored back this way that I feel like with music, I have a conversation, and I really like hearing what it has to say rather than telling it what I want it to say. And so that I really felt with these musicians, and they do it so masterfully where it feels really unified, even though you're like, whoa, all this crazy stuff happened. And then Sammy Ray and the Friends is just like a new artist that I'm like obsessed with. So
well, you just beat me to my next question, so we can take that one off the table. So you're a mind reader, Liliana. Get out of my studio in my head here. But something that you're going to love about Boise is we embrace the eclecticity of these bands that are coming through. It's the home of Treeford, and we are a very welcoming bunch with everything that seems to come to our doorstep. But we also have been paying a lot of attention to the bands that come through. I think you're going to lead a clinic in a way that I don't think that a lot of bands are ready to hear yet. And I mean that is that don't be afraid to put it all together. Don't be afraid to glue all of these influences together and have a great time and really be truly real to the music and reactive to the music, because like you said, it is a conversation. And I can't wait to see this live, and I can't wait to see people's faces when they see this live, because I've been lucky to do a little bit of research on you guys before this had come about. So I can't wait for the community to get behind Thrown Out Bones. What else do you want people to know about a TOB show?
Goodness, what else do we want? I mean, it's just like anybody's welcome, and everybody. It's just, I think a thing like a defining thing about us is the like this kind of like it's almost like a compulsivity, and so when something feels inspiring, we really encourage each other to like go for it. And it's been an interesting journey of, how to be really tight and musically professional and spontaneous and weird, and like bring audience members into improv, into, risk taking without it becoming sloppy and like jarring and disconnecting, but instead being like, look, we are all part of the chaos that begins before the creation, before the polish, before the final product. So it's like, we want you to experience all the realms of it and feel like we're all doing the show together. We're also all like pretty gay. And so the queering of the show, like you can really hear in the way I'm describing it, where it's like, yeah, I love, taking relationships and being like, yeah, no offense, dudes, but like, nah, no offense, traditional relationship structures, but nah, no offense, ways shows are supposed to look, nah, not interested. Music structure, nah. And like the way that we originally intended this song to go and practiced it, nah, oh, we've done something entirely different this show. Okay. And so it's just like, it's a creation that we're all making together. And I get so excited. I'm just so fucking excitable. And the stage is one of the places I feel like I can be most myself, and that my like high extrovert energy is a really like good, admired, people dig it, and it really helps with the energy. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm home and we're all like building this chaos monster together.
Well, we are going to see it in a number of short days. Is there anything that you are supporting right now in terms of new releases or any materials that are going to be adjacent to this tour?
So we have a new EP that just came out a few months ago, and called Matter of Chance. And that's really exciting. That's a lot of our newer stuff and some older stuff we've been working on for years. And it's one of the first times that Nick, who was just on the interview, has pretty much fully mixed, recorded, and engineered it. It's also like in a heartbreaking way. I hinted at this earlier, but we've had a number of van tragedies, including our first van got smashed into in, where was it? It was in Wisconsin, and we didn't get any money back for it. And it was like a very expensive van, and we got stranded, and we ended up having to like buy a random super shitty van, and it did get us the rest of the way across the country. But then when we got back, that van got stolen, and then so we were stranded without a van again. So we got another van and then toured a bunch with it and paid off the other two vans. But then last year, that van with a bunch of our gear in it got stolen out of our bassist's driveway, and so we had no gear, no van again. And so like this most recent van is our kind of like fingers crossed, but a lot of this album actually has, the song Crash and Burn that we were working on the morning of our first car accident. It has the original drum set that got stolen, recorded. It's the last recordings with my drum set and with certain basses and guitars and a lot of instruments that are now gone. And I think Matter of Chance, and the album before is called When All This Is Through. It was really like us coping with this. And this album feels like, okay, that was then. We made a lot of amazing content. We're excited for it to be out there, and we're ready to like bulldoze into the next thing, which feels really excited. This is our first tour with this album. So we feel really excited to finally have this and finally be getting this out there and like kind of starting fresh. And also, of course, like musicians go, we have so many new songs too, which involve like me getting off the drums and Nick playing the drums, and Lord knows when Liliana gets off the drums,
watch out.
Pray.
Well, you have creative momentum, you have stable equipment. Basically, this tour is your oyster.
Hoping, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all of these stories and tales, but the best way that we can get acquainted with you is seeing you in person. So I'm going to shout out the event details. July 9th, Shrine Basement. It is an incredible lineup. Thrown Out Bones. They are co-headlining a show with Sunsmith, Reggae Rock All-Stars here in Boise. They're going to bring the energy with their show. Thrown Out Bones is going to show us something amazing with how you can patch together all of these influences. We have Whiskey Mountain and Play the Fool opening up the show. It's going to be a really, really good time. So Liliana, and I know Nick had to hop off, but thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having us. And we can't wait to bring our like swanky, sexy pop, rock, funk, bluesy stuff to you.
Yeah, we're super excited to see you. Get here safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.